Hi everybody, today we're going to have a go at making a funky cat character, and we're going to be looking at a color calculator, and we're just going to have a little exploration of hexadecimal color codes. Okay, so here we've got 1 byte of information representing the red channel. C3 is 1 byte of information representing the green channel, and DE is 1 byte of information representing the blue channel. This is the RGB color system represented in hexadecimal. Alright, to get started, we're going to go to our color wheel, and let's just go to a new file. I'm using Adobe Illustrator. If you're using a different application, follow along, and you may pick up some interesting tips and techniques or information about color calculators. So my color calculator, the first thing I'm going to do is select my kind of main color. I'm going to go for kind of a nice orange shape here. So this is going to be my main color, and from that main color the color calculator is going to generate some color harmonies for me. Now, if you're a graphic designer, you will often use color harmonies to create a nice color balance in the illustrations that you are creating. Okay, so that's really the purpose of this color calculator. Now, I'm not going to go and explain what the monochromatic harmony is all about, or the analogous harmony is all about. We don't have time for that today, but let it be said that the color calculator will give you some different color harmonies, and we're going to use these to make a color palette. So in Adobe Illustrator, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a rectangle tool, and I'm going to copy my main colors hexadecimal color code, and I'm going to select the color picker in Illustrator and paste that color code into the hexadecimal code box here. So that's my main color. Then going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to go to my complementary harmony, and there's only one, just this one here. I'm going to copy that code, and I'm going to paste it into this color's color picker box. So that's my complementary harmony. Now let's create another square. This one is going to be for the monochromatic harmony. There's only one, so I'm going to take that color and I'm going to select my shape and set its color to be that hexadecimal color code. And gradually I can build up my color palette. Actually, I've already done it, so let me just show you what I've got at the moment. Let's just resize that. That's my original main color, remember? And these are all the color harmonies created from this main color. Okay, this one was the complementary one. This one here is the monochromatic harmony. Here we have our, was it analogous harmonies? Yep, there are 2 of those. The next were the split complementary. There were 2 of those. Here they are. Then we had our triadic harmonies, here they are, and then we had our tetradic harmonies. There were 3 of those. So this is going to be my color panel for creating my cat. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a nice circle using the shape menu here. And I'm going to use my direct selection tool to play with these anchor points. So every shape has anchor points, and there are 4 in this shape. I'm going to take that one. Actually, I'm going to play with the handles here. I'm going to squeeze the handles in just to reshape the top of the head. I'm also going to select that anchor point and then drag it out. I'm going to make it quite a fat head. And with this bottom anchor point here, I'm just going to pull it up a little bit. So this is going to be the shape of my cat's head. I then want to develop the ears. Please note, by the way, while I'm developing these shapes, I'm turning off the stroke color, right? If I put a stroke color onto my shape, let's select that shape again and give it a stroke color. I don't want any stroke colors, so I'm just going to turn that off. I'm just working with fill colors. Now let's turn our attention to the ears. I'm going to use the polygon tool. I'm going to click once on the artboard, and I'm going to create a polygon with 3 sides. So you can choose the number of sides that your polygon has. I want a 3-sided polygon, otherwise known as a triangle. Brilliant. So let's choose our selection tool to resize that. I'm also going to go back to my direct selection tool so I can play with this anchor point. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to curve it and play with the handles. I'm just going to widen it out. Now you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. You can make your own ears, but this is my ear design. I'm now going to use the selection tool to select that shape, copy and paste, Control C, Control V. Let's make this one a little bit smaller. I'm going to move it into the middle. By the way, did I make this my main? I want this one to be my main color. So let's select my original shape, eyedropper tool, and steal the color that you want to use. That's the color that I want. Okay, I think I'm already using it. That's fine. Let's go back to this shape here. I want to steal a color from my color palette. I'm going to steal this color here. Brilliant. Okay. So here I'm developing my ear. I'm going to select those 2 shapes and I'm going to group them to help me manage them. And let's rotate this shape and put it into place. Something like that. Now then, let's Control C, Control V that, right click, transform, reflect. Go to preview. Yep, that's what I want. Okay. Let's put it into place. Now I'm going to show you quickly how to use the eraser tool in Adobe Illustrator. Not many people know how to use the eraser tool. Select the tool, go to where you want to start erasing, press Alt on your keyboard, and then click and drag. And we're going to erase a bit of the shape. Brilliant. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to go back to the polygon tool, click on the artboard. I want another triangle. Let's use the selection tool to resize the shape. I'm also going to flip it, something like that. I'm going to go into Effect, Stylize, Round Corners, Preview. Oh, do you see that? And let's just play with the radius. That's a little bit better. Don't want it to be too much, so let's take it down a little bit. That's fine. Okay, so I've put an effect onto the original triangle. I now want to apply that effect to the shape. So I'm going to go to Object, Expand Appearance. That will give me a new shape. And I'm going to select it and steal a color from my color palette. I'm going to go for this one. So this is going to be my cat's nose. Let's put it into place. Somewhere about there, I suppose. Now I'm going to take another circle. Come on. And I'm going to draw a circle. Let's steal a color using the eyedropper tool. I'm going to steal this color again. I'm going to send this shape behind the nose. So it's Control left square bracket on your keyboard, or you could right click, arrange, send backward, and you can see the shortcut here, Control left square bracket. So let's do it that way. Control left square, there we go, left square bracket. Direct selection tool, I'm just going to take that point there, push it up to the base of the nose. I'm also going to I might leave those handles. I'm going to drag these handles down. Try and make it as perfect as I can. Not too bad. Alright, let's continue. I'm now going to create the eyes. So let's go back to the ellipse tool. I'm going to steal a color. I'm going to go for this nice blue color here. Direct selection tool. Select that anchor point and sharpen it. Brilliant. I'm going to make another circle. Now this is a little trick that you might know in Illustrator. I'm just zooming in now, Control plus on the keyboard. I'm going to take another circle, and I'm going to draw a circle over that. Let's steal a color from my color palette. I'm going to go for this one, the same as the nose. Now I'm going to use the selection tool to select those two shapes, and you can use Shift to select two shapes at the same time, by the way. Click on the first shape, Shift, click on the second shape, and they're both selected. Let's go to the Shape Builder tool, and I'm going to press Alt on my keyboard again, Alt, click, and that half of the shape, the bit that I selected, disappears. Let's go back to the ellipse tool. I'm going to choose black this time, which isn't in my color palette, but I'm going to use it anyway. Now then, let's just Shift select those three shapes. One, Shift, Shift. I'm going to group those. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to move that a little bit. Kind of copy and paste, Control C, Control V. Right click, transform, reflect. OK. Move it into place. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple more steps, and then you're free to carry on by yourself and draw a cat. You've got a few techniques now. I'm going to draw another circle. Control, left square bracket. Let's move this behind this middle face shape, and I'm going to steal a color from my color palette. Okay, I'm just going to show you one more trick. I got this from Helen in my class a couple of years ago. She discovered this. I'm going to select this shape here, Control C, Control B. I've actually made a copy of that shape, and it's now sitting behind the original shape. That's what Control B does. And if you don't believe me, I'm just going to move this original top shape, and hopefully there is another copy behind. There it is. Okay? So that's Control C, Control B. I need to select that back shape, so I'm going to do that again. Control C, Control B, and now I'm going to go to Effect. How did she do this? Effect. Something to do with drop shadow. How do we find drop shadow? How did she do this? Effect. Drop shadow, that's the one. Go to preview and play with the Y offset. Oh, do you see that? So there's way too much there. Let's make the X offset 0. And let's make the blur 0. And let's make the Y offset a little bit less. And let's change the opacity. And there we just get a nice little kind of shadow effect, okay, to bring out the shape. So I'm going to leave you there. See if you can create your own cat.